Hey everyone, welcome to my latest video. In today's episode, I'm excited to share a collection of enjoyable projects I recently crafted, which is perfect for Christmas home decor or some thoughtful gifts. Join me as I demonstrate just how simple it is to create personalized Christmas items using the Cricut machine. If you enjoy what you see, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you're new to the channel, leave a comment to let me know you have subscribed. I'm eager to greet my new viewers. Before we get started, I do want to say, in order to enhance the video's coherence, the content is streamed with a slight reordering for a smoother flow. Now, let's jump into the creative process and start crafting some fun, festive projects together. Hey everyone, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we have a lot of fun Christmas DIY crafts today. So our first craft is this really pretty wood blank. I've had this in my craft room for some time now, and I wasn't really quite inspired with it. And then I was watching Ashley from a.grace_co, check her out on YouTube, and she did a really cute design on this wood blank, and I thought, you know what, that actually inspires me to do something very similar to it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and share with you my spin on this wood blank. So I'm using my two go-to vinyls for this Christmas season, this burgundy and this dark green. Now, I've been making quite a few videos for the last week or so, and I've been having a lot of issues with this particular vinyl, so I've kind of learned that I need to go ahead and weed out the middles and then weed out the bulk of it. So this one, so I'm gonna actually pull up my design here in Design Space because I need a reference to it. So this one, yes, I am weeding out the letters, but it is it's a banner here. And I think it'd just be easier to weed out that. And I'll be honest, this is my second take of this video because I did not pull up my design in Design Space while I was recording, and I ended up weeding out the middles like you normally do, such as the little this here, and so on and so forth. And I realized that that is not how this design is supposed to be. We're supposed to weed out the letters and not the middles. So I had to, and I ended up not realizing it until I weeded out like the rest of the background and found out, oh no, like I actually did that incorrectly. So that was my bad. I ended up I wasn't able to save it because I ended up, like the middles, I ended up putting on the side of the vinyl and it got all wrinkled and I couldn't save it. So I thought, you know what, I'll just have to recut it. Sometimes that's just the way it is. So what I would do is, if I were you, is pull up your design in Design Space as you're trying to weed and try to center everything, because that way you are able to reference it and you know what needs to be weeded and what doesn't need to be weeded and how to center it. And it's a really helpful idea. So that's what we're going to do with this one. So we got two different colors, so we're going to layer them. And go ahead and get the last few letters here. Okay, finally got that all weeded out. Knew this was going to be a challenge, but I had to forego. There's the little swishes or whatever those were called. I don't know, but I ended up having to go forego those. I'm just, again, pick and choose your battles, right? So let's go ahead and get some transfer paper out. Okay, and we'll start peeling this back. Again, making sure that we lay this straight on, and then we not get any air bubbles. Oops, you know what? I don't want to take all that off because I don't need that much. I'm trying to think, will I need that much? You know what? I'll end up piecing it together. And the reason why I'm doing that is because the less transfer the tape, the better when you're working with your design here. So you know, with all the issues I was having with this vinyl, I'm really impressed I was able to keep those dots to the eyes. I was pretty impressed. Okay, so let's get that. And then this is from Design Bundles, the design that I'm using. And then this is Order Cal 651. Both of them are, and they're, again, burgundy and dark green. You can get them on their website or at Michael's. Let's bring that in. Peel this back. And let's go ahead and get this straight on. Okay, I think I'm over, yeah, I'm over a little bit, but I accidentally let it go down, and there's nothing much more that I can do about that. So it looks like my H kind of went wonky as well. So let me go ahead and fix that real quick. There we go. Tell you what, I have never had so many problems with one vinyl. There we go. Careful as you're pulling this back to monitor. You know, I'm constantly looking up and down, making sure that there's nothing that's coming up, like my A. Oop. Make sure that goes down. Yeah, I'm just slightly over, but not much I can do about that. All right, let's push this to the side. And then okay, there we go. You can see I'm slightly, let's see here, slightly off here. It's just trying to get these air bubbles out of here. Alright, so I'm going to have a slight air bubble issue. I'm going to try to keep that in the middle. And it may mess up my drawing or my design a little bit because it might, I don't know, we'll see what it will do. Okay, so I want to be careful with that S. Let's bring this back into the frame here. Now you can use the parchment paper on this. I'm not going to, because I can just use my computer to line this up. Not my, well, I mean, just going to visualize using my computer. So let's go ahead and get this lined up. There we go. And I noticed when I was pushing down, I pushed this air bubble up because I don't want to like have it come in here and then also push it up into this vinyl. So I kind of kept it the way where it was. So when I was burnishing it down, the bubble was like up here. So I wanted to keep it up in here where there was no vinyl. So that's why you'll see that I just kind of went like that and pushed that bubble away from my design. Okay. Go. All right. I think that's pretty well done. Make sure I get the C real good, and then my S, of course. So when you are pulling back your transfer tape, sometimes it really helps if you go at an angle. There we go. All right, so definitely a little off-centered, but not much I can do about that. I really wish I would have pushed it over a little bit, and I was going to, but then there was so much static in this transfer tape, it just went like that and sucked on here, and I had no other choice but to accept what it is. So yeah, it's a little off-centered, but you know what, it's fine. You know, if worst case scenario, I can always redo it, but I think I'll just leave this as is. Right, so let's go ahead and move into our next craft project. In this project, I had picked up, and I bought this a while ago, and I haven't used it, and I actually saw someone use this for Halloween, and I thought, I think this would be a really cute idea for Christmas. So this is just a MDF wreath ring, 6 inches, and I got it in their woodpile section for $2. So what my thought process was, now bear with me, I'm not going to add any fabric to this. I'm going to do something a little different. And I'm going to leave the natural color of the MDF as is. Now you most certainly can paint yours. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add paper to it. So I have this really beautiful pack of paper, cardstock, and it's called their Christmas Deliveries by Cardabella. And I just used my Cricut to cut out I think it's 5.5 inch circle. So, and there's actually a pretty green color. So I'm just going to put it like this. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add I'm going to add this Merry Christmas. So this sticker sheet comes with a paper pet. Actually, no, I take this back. This particular, because this is Echo Park. So this comes in a different paper pack from a different company. So, but I thought this would be super cute with this. So again, this is a 6-inch wreath, and I just did 5.5 inches. Now you can most certainly do 6 inches or even do 5 3/4, so that way it goes a little bit beyond how mine is, but I really think that that is going to be good enough. And so what I'll do is I'm going to use my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue. I'm going to go ahead and go around. Now another alternative is get an embroidery hoop and use fabric, but I thought this was a little different, and I don't really have any Christmassy fabric to use, and I had tons of cardstock, Christmas cardstock. I was into card making years ago, and now I'm not so much. It's not my season right now, but making crafts are, and I thought that I could use this for a craft project. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that completely over the... Now what's great about this is it's a pattern, so I don't have to worry about, there's no words, so I don't have to worry about trying to, you know, I don't know, I guess get it figured out. It'll work. Now what I'm doing is I'm just going around pushing out that extra glue that I put in there. And I really like this fabric tack glue because it just glues pretty fast. Now with hot glue, you have a little bit of a wiggle room, but not much. With this, you have a little bit longer of a wiggle room before this sets. So there we go. Oh, I really like that. Okay, so I'm just going to push down on it just to make sure it's completely on there. And yeah, it's pretty well set. So again, you just want to kind of give it time to set up before you really start to mess with it. So my idea was, now you most certainly can use your Cricut too if your cardstock did not come with any stickers. And I bought, and again, this was a long time ago that I purchased these cardstocks, like probably back in 2019. So I don't have a link available to you. But again, if you just type in Echo Park, or this one is Cartabella in Amazon, I'm sure tons will come up for you to select. So these are, again, these are two different paper companies, but and from two different paper cardstocks, but I thought this would be really cute. This brown would match in with the MDF. So let's go ahead and again, you can use your Cricut to cut out something, but I figured, you know, I have it here, why not use it? So my idea was, I guess it really doesn't matter what the orientation was, or it is. I guess I'm just kind of looking at it, which way is going to go up, which way is going to go down. It doesn't really matter. So, and then the other good thing about this is I don't have to worry about trying to line it because I don't have any ribbon on there just yet. So I don't have to worry about it being completely straight. And I actually was thinking about having it going at an angle anyways. So right now I'm just going to try to get it as centered as possible. You know what, actually, before I do, I'm going to add some foam squares to this. So you can get these foam tapes from Amazon or your local craft store. And I am just going to, I'm going to hold that off actually. Well, let's see here. We'll put it right here. And I'm just going to do this just to provide some dimension to it. Now you don't have to, of course you can just lay it flat, but as I was putting it down onto the cardstock, it did look a little bit flat to me. So like it needed a little something extra. So that's why I'm adding this foam tape, just to give it a little bit of a more dimension. All right, so I'm going to use my weeding tool to get the backers off. Get the last one here. All right, now let's go ahead and apply it to our wreath. Okay, I think that looked really good. All right, I almost was trying to take an extra step and take the transfer tape off since I've been working with vinyl. Like I said, this is like my third or fourth video, so I've been using quite a bit of vinyl since then. Now, of course, you can go a step further and add more things. I'm just trying to see. I think this is good. I think if we add too much, then it's just going to be, this is going to be too much. Okay, so let me go ahead and move that to the side. I think what I'll do is cut this off. And then have it go like this. Because my first initial thought was to have it go something like that, but I don't think that's going to look good. So let me see here. I'm trying to think about where I'm going to hang this at. So I was thinking about this can go on a door knob with the front door. So that's why I'm trying to think about how wide do I want it. Okay, so I think that's what we'll do. So then I'm going to bring over my glue. All right. Try to make sure that I get it on that portion right there. Now it will come through a little bit, so just kind of be mindful. And then you're going to have to, try not to touch it for a little bit. And then I'm very lightly pulling on this just to kind of get an idea. Make sure that I have it going the right way though. Oh, and I just yanked it off, as I told you guys not to do that. Okay, add some more more glue here. Okay, and then same with this area too. Because if you don't get it towards the top, then it's just gonna want to kind of flop weird and not rest or not hang correctly. So that's why you kind of want to make sure that you get to the very edge of your wreath here. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so there we go. So I was thinking about maybe doing a cute little bow here at the top. Just trying to get an idea. Obviously this is not my bow. No, I think this is good on its own. I don't think it needs another bow, or needs a bow, I should say, but I think that's good on its own. All right, so what do you guys think? Something different. It's not Cricut related, although it kind of is. I mean, I use my Cricut to cut out the round. But yeah, again, it's just going to kind of hang like this. So it's different, and I'm really glad that I added foam tape underneath this to provide an extra dimension to it. And again, you can opt to paint this. Like I said, I just left it, even though, like, yes, it's MDF, so it's not really the best looking kind of thing, but I think that actually kind of ties in with the cardstock that I used and whatnot. So but anyways, and then I added this cute little ribbon to it, and I really liked how it turned out. And again, it's just going to hang like this, and it's probably going to go on my doorknob. But of course, like, if this is going to be on, or you might, this is my first time using this Fabri-Tac glue on something like this, so I'm going to see how well this holds up. I'm not sure if it will, but if I notice that after it has time to dry and everything and it just falls off, then I will let you guys know in the comment section that I would suggest like hot glue or something like that. But I had my Fabri-Tac glue out, so I thought I'd just use that, and then hopefully it will work. But I don't know, this stuff is pretty strong, and look at it, I mean, it's pretty substantial, so it's not going anywhere. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to our next project. All right, so I know this looks like a lot, and don't worry, we're not doing all of these, but I wanted to show you. So I had purchased these Merry Christmas signs. These are from Hobby Lobby, and apparently I bought one this year. I bought one in 2019, and then I bought 2022. But anyway, so then I also have these are from Michaels, and the one that we're gonna be working on are these three. Now these two I wanted to show you kind of what they look like without paint on there, so I went ahead and painted them, and I'm actually going to be painting these two later, and they're going to be as gifts. So this one's going to be for me. And my thought process, now on its own, I think it'd be super cute just to leave this the way it is. Let me go ahead and move this aside so that way it's not a little bit not distracting. But this on its own would be super cute. Now keep in mind, they're not meant to be paired together, okay? Because this is from Hobby Lobby and this is from Michael's. So, but again, just on its own, this is super adorable. But then I thought, let's take it a step further. Bring in this wood round that I got from, I think it's Michael's. Yes, Michael's. And this is a 15-inch diameter wood round. And this is, they call this a wreath. It's a DIY plywood plaque. So it's not a wreath. And it's in the Christmas section, so $15, and then of course it's marked down. So my thought process was to glue it on here. Now it does go off the wood round, but I think I really do, I like that. So I'm actually, that's kind of the goal, and that's what I'll be doing with the others. And I'm going to leave this a natural color. Now the other ones that I'll be doing, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up painting the wood round or just doing it white and then painting these. Now, each is going to have their own theme of colors. Mine is like more of these pastel colors. And just because in my other craft project, I went more of a traditional rustic Christmas color theme, and I thought that'd be a little bit different. So I have pink, white, and green, and then this blue as well. So I thought that, and I also, and hear me out on this, this actually was never going to go on here from the first place. This was going to go on another wood blank that I had, and then this was just going to be hung up in my front door. And then I kind of accidentally put them down together, and I'm like, oh my god, that is super adorable. And then as luck would turn out, I was working on something else. I was going to use this for a different project, and I put this down, and I'm like, there's my front door sign. So I really thought it was kind of funny how this all happened to get put together. So with that being said, this is a really quick and easy project. There's not much that we're going to be doing with this other than gluing down and hopefully inspiring you guys to do something like this. Now, of course, this on its own is super adorable and really does not require anything else. But I just happened as it all kind of came together on its own, and so I just couldn't help myself but put it together. And that's what I'll be doing. I have purchased a lot of these throughout the year because I knew I was going to do these for Christmas as gifts. Not this project in particular, but use them as wood rounds for people's front door. And I had purchased a lot of them. So I figured that when I gift this to my friends or family, there's 2 people in mind that I'm going to be gifting it to. I just knew that, I have to put it all together. Now, okay, with this being said, I'm going to just try to find my center. And honestly, don't think there is a center. Or it does go up and down, because if I were to rotate it, I guess not. Because it really doesn't matter how this gets placed. Now, this is, of course, what matters. I'm paying attention to that little guy right up there. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to use my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue on this one, and I'm not going to do hot glue on this one, and I'm going to tell you why. Because there's a lot of surface areas that I'm going to need to glue down, and it's going to take me a second to hit all those spots. So because that, if I were to use hot glue, it will take a long time, or it will dry up by time I'm ready to glue this all down. So I'm still going to move pretty fast because I don't know how long this takes to glue down, and I'm just kind of going everywhere. And if it happens to go off the wood round, I'm okay with that. It will just end up drying up or dripping off, and then it's fine. So again, I'm just moving fast because, again, I don't know how fast this will take to dry, and I don't want to go too slow. Okay. Rotate that around. Okay. Get that part done and this part done. Oops. Look like it's already setting. So, okay. This sets pretty fast, so you got to move fast. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to plop that on there. Now I can still move it around to try to get it centered and it will be fine. As you can tell that I'm moving fast because this is going to start setting here very quickly. It's already setting. Look at it, it's already stuck. So with the Beacon Fabric Tack Glue, you want to move fast, just like hot glue. Although, like I said, I think hot glue, you have less time with the Beacon Fabric Tack Glue. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm hitting all the parts that the glue kind of fell off and hit the wood. And then as it dries, you can just go ahead and peel that up. So I'm just pushing it down, applying some pressure so that way, because it's not exactly even. And then, again, I'm just holding it down. Looks like, yep, it's all set. Okay, well, that was pretty fast. All right, now this, the last part here, it's only going to be certain areas that I will need to hit. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this lined up to see. I'm going to use this as my center. I don't know if I'm on screen here, but I'm going to use this as my center and then glue that down. So what I did was I outlined where my C and my S is going to hit, and that's the only two areas that my wood touches the wreath. So I'm going to really apply some glue to that, and if I notice if it falls off, then I'll have to add some wood cutouts to support this portion here. I'm not quite sure if it's going to need it or not, but I can report back to you guys, let you know that you're going to need some type of better support than just gluing it in those two areas. So again, I'm just going to place that here and get that there and get that there. All right, just removing the extra glue, and then I'm going to apply some pressure to those areas to make sure that it really adheres. Holding that down. Okay, make sure it doesn't move. There we go. Now this is a super heavy wreath now, because this is, the wreath is pretty substantial, and in itself it's pretty heavy, and then the wood round is heavy. And then of course this is, I don't know how many layers. I think they have two pieces of plywood glued together on this Merry Christmas, so it's pretty heavy. All right, I'm going to stop moving this around, but there we go. So again, this is just going to go on my front door, and then it's just going to be hung right here. So there we go. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next craft project. Our last project, well, technically, I guess the snowflake is now our last project because we have to come back to that. But the last one that we're going to be officially working on are these rolling pins. And they come in a set of 3. in this natural wood color. And I got it from Hobby Lobby, and it's $5. So get it on it when it's 40% off, because then it's like, I don't know, $2.60 or something like that. So it's a really good price for the 3 of these rolling pins. So what I did was I applied 2 coats of each color. So I have a red one, and I have a green one, and then I have a white one. So let's go ahead and weed out the vinyl here. So I have white for the green and the red, and then the red for the white, for the white rolling pin. So if you guys watched my channel or been around my channel for a while, you know that I do faux foods. So I'm going to be doing Christmas faux foods, and it's going to be around kind of a gingerbread theme, sort of. I don't know. I haven't quite developed that part just out yet, but it's leaning towards that. So I thought it'd be kind of cute to put cookies, gingerbread, and then candy. Okay, looks like I lost the eye, but I can come back to that and fix it. Sometimes you just got to move it completely out of the way and then just not worry about it. But amazingly, I got the dot to it, so that's good. And then just got to get that C real quick. All right, there we go. Go ahead and get this off my fingers. And then I will come and rescue this little eye here. There we go. All right, got that one. Now let's go ahead and, now this one, I apologize if you can't see real well. Again, I'm trying to use my scraps, and I wanted a more matte look than, and all my white vinyl that has a blue backer is all gloss, and I didn't want glossy, so that is why you are seeing, that's why I had to use this one. So I apologize that you can't see it, but I'll get this weeded out real quickly. And then eventually, once I take it off the backer, this is Paper Studio brand, Paper Studio and Cricut. Don't use any other color besides white for their white background, which is just crazy to me. I don't know why they don't do that. Now here I might have to peel this. I think I might have to cut this apart because it might be a little bit hard to handle. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Let's go ahead and use some transfer tape. I'm just going to reuse the transfer tape from the first or the last project that we just worked on. Okay. Now, I always say the less transfer tape, the better. But when you're working with such small vinyl, sometimes it's easier to have a bigger transfer tape. Okay, and then let's see here. I guess it doesn't really matter which one goes on which. I just want to pick a good side. Got some of the paint from earlier on here. Okay, and actually I can use my scraper tool. So that doesn't, oh, that's perfect. All right. Let's go ahead and get that on there. Get it centered. Okay, just smooth down the center there. And then I'm going to roll that out. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to carefully peel that back. Looks like I got areas I need to get a little bit better, and then here we go. So that just says gingerbread. Okay, let's go ahead and get the green, and actually, well, I'll just keep that on there, and I'll just bring in another scraper tool. Okay, and then this one just says candy. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and get this one on here. Okay. And then try to get that. Oops. I'm going to try to make sure it's straight and centered. I think that's good. All right. There we go. Oops, sorry if you heard my dog. Alright, let's peel that back. Here we go. We got that little closer to the right than I would have liked, but it will be fine. And then we'll get the last one. Okay, get this one over, and then we will get this one on there, and then we will be done with it. All right, let's go ahead and scrape that down, and then peeling that up. All right, there we go. So if you want them all to be, just a little FYI, if you want them to all be the same height as far as the text is concerned, you want to start off with your largest word and then size it from there. And I honestly think that I could have gone a little bit bigger, but you could also take this a step further and right or left justify and then put ribbon around each one. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think they're just going to kind of, I don't know how I'm going to display it yet, but this has been on my to-do list for a long time, and I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to do it this Christmas season, and I can't wait to display them. We're down to our final 2 craft projects of the video, and we are going to use this vinyl as a stencil and paint all over it. Now, I've done something similar to this in my fall craft video, so I'm gonna do it. I really liked it, and so I'm gonna do it again this time, and I'm gonna make this cute little snowflake. So this is, let's see here, 5.5 by 5.5, and you can get these cut out at Michael's, but I can't remember if I purchased these from Michael's or I had my husband cut them out for me. Can't quite, I think he cut them out for me. But regardless, you can either go get your own piece of wood and cut them out, or you can go buy it from Michael's. And I just stained it with some stain. And this has been cured for quite some time now, probably about a year now. And so if you're going to do this and you're going to want to stain your wood, I would give it the proper amount of time for it to cure. Because the vinyl won't stick really well if the stain is not completely cured. So I'm just going to use, now there are vinyl that's purposely for stenciling. I personally don't like it. I've had some issues with it in the past, and it's just not my jam. So I just like to use removable vinyl in a color that I probably don't use quite often, or an older vinyl that will go bad, you know, eventually, from just staying in my craft room for too long. So the color doesn't really matter because it's just going to get removed. And I'm just going to peel out the middles here. So then what I'm going to do is apply some transfer tape. So I have some scraps here. And go ahead and pull this out. And then this is obviously not going to be big enough, but I'll just piece it together. Finish that down front and the back. So the last one that I did in the fall for the stenciling just said hello fall. So this time I opted for no lettering. And of course, if you don't want to waste wood, if you want to have to get extra wood, if you already done something similar to it, just use the back side of it. I have plenty of these in my craft stash, and I just needed to get rid of some. So, and what I'll do is I'll pack the fall one away, and next year I'll just flip it to the other side and put something else on there. Move that into camera here, and then now I can have it go at an angle. Oh, before you do that, you also want to make sure that you find a good side that's not too wobbly. This actually is pretty good. And then of course, if the wood grain is going left to right, if that makes a difference to you, it doesn't make a difference to me. And then of course you can at this point, you can decide if you want it to go at an angle, you want it to go straight up down. I think I'm going to have it go at an angle here, and then go ahead and try to get it centered. Good. Now, you want to make sure that you burnish this down really, really good, because you're going to be painting over it. Now last time I only put one coat of paint and then sanded around the edges. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 coats of paint and then sand. So I'm just going to do it one more time. Make sure I really get that good. Move that to the side, and then I'm using my favorite chalk paint. You can get this at Hobby Lobby or on Amazon. And I'm using a foam brush, and I don't usually paint the sides, so what I do is I start in the middle and then work my way out. Now, you want to make sure when you're doing this, in order to avoid getting paint on this side, that you don't have a whole lot of paint. Oops, it looks like I got some on my fingers somehow. But you want to make sure that you don't want to have a lot of paint towards the edge of it, or it will drip over. Okay. There we go. All right. So now that I have this completely painted, I'm going to put this aside, and then we'll come back to it, and once it's dried, and then we'll add another coat of paint. So I got the second layer all on there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this up very carefully, and you're going to want to try to poke where your vinyl is at. You don't want to poke where the paint is at, because then it's going to ruin your paint job. And then you're going to go ahead and peel this up without ruining your project. There we go. Oh, I love it. I love how it turned out. Turned out really nice. And I think I got like maybe one or two areas that's on the paint and also that's on the stain that it kind of got a little sketchy, if you will. But overall, I think it turned out super cute. And again, it's just going to be sitting up like this. And, you know, it'd be cute. I really like how this turned out. And like I said, once this dries, I'll go ahead and distress the sides of it just to kind of give it that little bit of a rustic look. But overall, I think this turned out super adorable. So let's go ahead and bring in all the stuff that we've worked on today, and we'll go through everything, kind of just remind you what we covered in today's video. It is so hard for me to decide which one is my favorite one. I would have to say this is going to be my favorite, and then my second favorite will be this one. And this would be my favorite one if it was centered a little bit better. But that's all right. It's crafting. It's part of our jam, right? Perfection is just not a thing that we can do. We're humans, so we got to show ourselves a little bit of grace. But anyways, I can't wait to work on the other two projects that I'm going to be doing. Same concept, right? But different color themes. If I get the chance, because I'm going to do this off camera, but if I get a chance, I might show it in another video of the final products of the other two, just so you can get an idea of what the theme of the paint will be, or the palette of colors that I will be using for this one. Again, I haven't decided if I'll paint this, you know, a color and then just have something else natural. I don't know. So anyways, this is just one of my favorites. So I'm going to go ahead and move this to the side here. And I really liked how this all ties in. Now I know the other one did not tie in to anything in this project. This is kind of, this really should have, that Merry Christmas wreath should have been in another video where I had this tree, a snowman, and the jingle bells, because it really tied in with that color theme. In fact, let me go ahead and bring that up just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So you can see here that these elements here really goes well with this project that we did in one of the other videos, and I really liked how these all got tied in together. But unfortunately, at the time when I was making this video, I didn't have this completely finished, so these had to rock and roll to get out of my craft room and to go on display. But you can see how they all tied in together. They're all the same colors, same reds. In fact, I painted this with a red and then mixed it with some white to get this pastel red color. And of course the same greens. And then the white, of course, and then the snowflake, the blues tie in right there. So anyways, I think they go paired really well together. Then I feel like all of these really paired well together. I really liked how this turned out. Again, I saw this for someone do it for Halloween, and I would, if I could find, it was on Pinterest, so they actually did larger hoops than this, and they did cardstock that was Halloween themed, and then they made it out to be like a pumpkin. They had like they had like a stem and everything, and I liked the idea, but I really liked how this came together. And again, this is just going to be held like this. And I am creating the second part of this video towards the few hours later after I created this, and I will tell you, this is so sturdy. If you guys remember from the very beginning, we used that Beacon Fabri-Tac glue, and I will tell you what, awesome glue. It adheres really well. I was really afraid with how potentially weak this is, and I would say this is stronger than hot glue, way stronger. So get that Beacon Fabri-Tac glue. It gives you more grace than hot glue does, because hot glue, you got to work fast. With this glue, it takes a little bit longer, maybe double the time that hot glue does, if not just a tad bit longer. But man, is that strong. And it's gonna, look at it, I'm just bouncing it, and it's gonna work really well. So, and I'm really glad that I went with this ribbon here. I think it just really ties in with the color, the background color of this cardstock. And this is just gonna hang on my door, and hopefully I get it through the knob. If not, it was just going to hang somewhere else. And I liked that I was able to use the sticker paper from a different packet of cardstock to be paired with this. I think it really paired really well with that. And then of course, this Christmas tree farm. I think that this is still drying, so even though I'm a little disappointed that the fact that I got it off center just a tad bit, maybe by half an inch, I still think that this turned out really cute, and I'm really glad that I did this. And again, this was inspired by Ashley. Her YouTube channel name is a.grace_co, and she did something different. It was tree related, but same frame. And again, I'm a Hobby Lobby fanatic. I am there all the time, and I have a bunch of these swings. So this was in my craft stash, and when I saw that she did that, I was like, oh, I gotta make that or something similar to it. So I was looking at my stash, and sure enough, I did have this. So I thought, oh, this is gonna be a good opportunity. So thank you, Ashley, for your inspiration. But anyways, hopefully you liked what I did. But anyway, yeah, so this is just an SVG that I got off of Design Bundles. They had quite a few of them, and I really liked their bundles that they, especially their dollar deals. If you don't know what Design Bundles is, check it out. It's designbundles.net. I'm not going to get any promotional credit for that. I don't work for them. I'm not affiliated with them at all. I just really like them, and they have great customer service. Actually, one of their SVGs that I am going to be using for another video had 2 issues with their bundle, and I haven't reached out to them about it yet. But that's the first time out of the year and a half that I've been using them, and I'm sure that they're going to be able to fix it. I mean, I was able to fix it, but I'm going to reach out to them and let them know that I've had some issues. But other than that, they're a really good company, and they respond pretty quickly. So anyways, I think this one would have been my favorite one had I just centered it just a little bit better. And then, of course, we can't forget about our rolling pins. I think that they turned out really pretty, and they really did what I really want with what I wanted to do. And in fact, let me go ahead and bring in my Christmas countdown. So here's my Christmas countdown. If you haven't checked out this video, be sure to check this video out. This is the first one that I created for the Christmas season. So it's the same chalk paint that I used for the rolling pin. So the red, for some reason, the red took a darker color on this rolling pin, but it could have just been because of the type of the wood that I used for this. But either way, they're still all cohesive. In fact, you see that you can kind of see the theme again. The theme that I'm creating with my projects is this forest green and this burgundy red. So this dark red, this is a little bit redder than I would have hoped. But anyways, they're all kind of tying in together. So hopefully you're starting to see a theme. And but anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed these crafts. I actually am going to have a bonus craft for you. So let me get this cleared off real quick, and then I'm going to show you that quick. It's going to be like less than a few minutes. It's something that I mentioned in a previous video that I wanted to fix, and I'm going to fix it, and I wanted to bring it to the channel. Hopefully you remember this project from a previous video, and I had mentioned that I wanted to use a gold adhesive to this green background, and I ended up not doing that because I was afraid it was gonna be not. So if you guys, hopefully you remember this project that we worked on in a different video. I had mentioned that I was wanting to use this like gold metallic vinyl to this, but I was afraid it would just not pop as much as the white would. So then I had mentioned in that video that I wanted to replace that star with the gold, and I'm going to do it. I found the time, I cut it out real quick, I peeled that white vinyl up, and let me tell you, it was not as easy as I thought it would be. So, but that's all right. I was able to get that popped up. I'm going to go ahead and, not popped up, but peeled off. And it's because it was a permanent vinyl. So permanent vinyl has more tack than it does with removable. So I'm going to go ahead and get this peeled up real quickly. That took, that was ridiculous with how hard it was. Oops, I just started ripping it. That was ridiculous of how hard that was to weed. I could not weed that to save my life. So word of advice, if you're going to use this adhesive foil, use more pressure, because that was crazy. And I was committed. So what I ended up doing is just cutting the vinyl, and then you can, well, you just saw what I just did. So thank goodness I did not use this for this, because this, oh, that would have been a bear. Okay, so I'm going to turn this upside down real quick, because I can kind of see with the light about where it was. And it doesn't really matter, because, you know, it doesn't matter. I just want to be able to cover up that residue that was on there. So I think that's good. Alright, so it's not perfect, because you can kind of see that little rip there, but I will tell you what, I am glad that I redid it. I think that adds some value to it. I wish I didn't rip that, because other than that, it would have been perfect. But, you know, sometimes, I don't know why I do this. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I just need to fix it. And then I end up ruining the project. And that's, I mean, it's not like it's ruined, I guess. But I just wanted to show you guys what that gold star looks like. I am super glad, however, that I did do that, because I really, looks like I have a little bit of a bubble there. I'm really glad that, just using my scraper tool to try to get these bubbles out. And I'm also kind of glad that I didn't use the gold, because you can see the the little bumps that are in the paint or in the surface of the wood. I'm not sure which, and I don't think I can get that out. But anyway, so you can kind of see that. So that would have been shown throughout this whole thing. But I also think this is just, you know, of course, that's the deserves its special, the star deserves its special attention. So overall, I think that I'm glad that I did that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and let me know if you think that you would have just left it alone and left it white, or do you think it's a good idea that I would have done that? Another thing that we could have done is we could have done gold glitter iron-on. However, I know that I will want to redo this sign for something else, so that's why I opted not to do iron-on for this. What will happen though if I end up having to redo this whole thing for a different project, I definitely will have to add another coat of paint to it, because when, like I said, when I peeled up the star, there was some residue, so you're going to have to be mindful of that. And I may not, because I may not want to go through the trouble and just use this for next year. So, all right, well, hopefully you enjoyed this little cute little bonus that took me a little bit longer than I anticipated, but overall, totally worth it. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye!